Alright, today we are going to do a tour of Cherry Hill Park here just outside of Washington, D.C. Once you enter in, you'll notice two different ways you can go. Off to the left is through traffic and buses. Off to the right is where you're going to check in. So when you pull in, pull off to the right here. On the opposite side of this initial pull-in, you can see the bus over there. It's actually a metro station, a DC metro station inside the park. So over here on our left, you can catch the DC Metro bus from here all the way into town, as well as anywhere else that the DC Metro goes. They've also got some tours that leave directly from here, as well as a shuttle that leaves directly from here to go down to DC. Building on our right, this is the check-in office. Now there's a guard shack right here. I've never seen a guard in there. I believe that has to do with after hours check-in, things like this, because further down you might be able to see there's a second guard shack, and that's where the actual gate is at. When you check in, your camp park pass actually has a little code thing on the back you can use to open the gates if the lady's not there. Now I'm going to sneak you up here before we go down there. We're going to check out a couple of the amenities because they're right behind the office. Here's the hint. Mini golf. So the mini golf is right behind the office. We're going to sneak over on our left after we check out the mini golf. Mini golf is $1 a person. My kids had a blast the other day doing it. Just going to give you a little preview of what she looks like. Perfect. This house in the back is one of the cottages. Over here, right when we came in, was another cottage. One more up on the hill, one more down the way. These are the other amenities. They've got a splash park, one of the playgrounds, gaga ball, swing set. They've got tennis over here. Now we're going to sneak back out to the entryway. We'll show you how we get in and through. The office has everything you would expect in it, and it was actually open pretty late, I believe till 8:30. We snuck in here late the other day and had something to grab in there. That was nice that it was open late. This is all just water feature over here. Now this park is actually pretty huge. When we go in through the main gate, it's broken up into, it's called 3 sections. I'll show you the map here in a little bit. Off to my left, first big section. Off to my right, second big section. And then I don't know if you can see it, but there's some high power lines that kind of cut the place into yet another section. So there's a third section way off in the back. Now the freeway, I don't know if you can hear it or see it, but the freeway loops around the entire side of this RV park. Difficult to avoid vehicle noise, and the perimeter sites are all closer to the freeway than the remainder sites. This is the gate we're passing right now. We're going to stop up here in the pavilion. I'll show you one building, and then what I'm going to do for this tour, because it's so big, is we're going to hop in the old Jeep, and we're going to make this a driving tour so I don't have to walk around here for the next 45 minutes showing you each one. This is called the Waterfall Building. Inside there, they have a room for setting up for your sightseeing sessions. There's a small exercise room. This is one of the laundries. It also acts as a bathhouse. Now, let's hop in the old Jeep and check out some of the sights. This here is the map. When we came in, we came directly in here. These were all the amenities we saw off to the right. These are the 3 sections I told you about. Section off to the left, section off to the right, and then when you go past the power lines that go here, there's huge sections in the back. Now the freeway wraps around this entire area around here, so all of these sites, lots of freeway noise. All of these sites, a little bit of freeway noise. Like I said, you're not going to get away from it completely. Let's get rid of the old ducky. Now you should be able to see here on the left is the guard gate right when you come in. What we're going to do first is sneak over to the left section, then the right section, and then the back section. So it looks like the left is the 300s, 400s, 500s. On the right here is another one of the kids' playgrounds. So the sign clarifies these sections on the left are the 200s through the 500s. For reference, on my left I'm passing site 443, 439, 437 if you wanted to follow along on the map. As we come up here, it looks like we have a bathhouse here on the right. This is bathhouse 1. I'm just going to do the larger perimeter here because again this is a large park with lots of little additional sections like this one on the right. This will give you a decent idea of what's going on around here. For reference, on my left is 417, 413. Now if you notice, but there's a lot of big Class A's over here. Most of these sites, including 405, 403 here on my left. Large pull-throughs, plenty of space. Now if you notice, we're back to the front again. On the other side of that gate is when you pulled in. Here's the Metro bus and the bus stop itself. I do have one basketball court. It's here on our right. There's some overflow parking there as well. Now as we exit out this section, on my left is site 208 if you're following along. We're going to go out the exit and sneak on over to the second section of units. Right after this gentleman crosses with his dog. Okay, coming back to the main tee, past the same exact child's playground. We're going to make a right. It is labeled RV sites 600s to 1800s. Tents, pods, clubhouse, pool, and cafe. If you'd like to follow along on our online map, on our left, the first site is 900. So these sites on my left are going to be closest to the freeway. It is directly on the other side of these sites. There's one park model home here. I'm not sure what it is. Maybe one of the workers' residences for now. This large building in front of us houses the spa, the arcade, a little cafe. There's also 2 pools down there. At the end of this building is the ballroom. This weekend there was a rather large event going on there, so all the ballroom parking, which we're about to go through, was quite full. There's also a little living area down there where they've got a pool, or not a pool, but a television. So we're sneaking into the very back section here. We're going under those high power lines that I discussed. This kind of divides the park into 2 different sections. I don't see any huge benefit to one side over the other. Maybe just depends on if you want to be closer to the front, or maybe back here in the back, maybe it's a little quieter. We're staying towards the front, so I can't verify if it's any quieter or not. For reference, on my right is site 138, on my left is site 139, if you're following along on the map. This is bathhouse number 2 that we're coming up on. We've also got another child's playground here directly on the left. these little trash receptacles are throughout the entire complex here. Passing the bathhouse. For reference, site number, what is this? Site number 97 on my left. It is a Tuesday in the middle of April. The weekend, this was maybe 80% full. Today, maybe more like 30% full. We've gone into DC a few times. From here, it's consistently a 45 minutes, hour and 15-minute drive. They highly encourage you to take the metro. We're from Arizona. We're not used to doing those types of things. I was able to use the app Spot Hero to find parking in DC. Really good parking, actually. Every time we've been in there, as cheap as $10 a day. Today we paid the most. We paid $26 for the day. We were in there for 10 hours, so I've paid more for parking. I've paid less for parking. And that, since we're a family of 5, that was cheaper than riding the metro, both directions. We're wrapping this side up. For reference, on our left is site 45. You can see there's lots of little loops in the center that we are skipping altogether, or else, again, this would be an hour-long video. Primitive tent sites are off to my left here. At least one section of the primitive tent sites are. I saw some other ones towards the front. It's like a group tent site area that was towards the front. There was a bunch of folks there this weekend in a group. Unfortunately, there was a cold snap that came through, and I'm sure it was quite cold in those tents. Passing site 13 on my left to give you an idea where we're at. Sneaking back around, this kind of wraps up the perimeter of this larger back section here. On our left here, this is a 45-foot London Air, so you get an idea. These sites are not tiny. This is bathhouse number 3 on the right. 2 yurts, I believe those are the only 2 yurts, or at least they're the only 2 that I've seen. And as you wrap up the back section here, you can see the high voltage lines and the large space that they open up for you. Seeing people playing in this open area. It's also just kind of a dead space. Obviously, they're not going to put anybody under the high voltage lines. On the other side of it, you get right back into the second section of the front part. And that pretty much wraps us up. If we were to take this road and continue directly straight, we would run right back into the main T road that we came in on. So on our left is the entrance, and on our right is that T. This wraps up our tour of Cherry Hill Park, just outside of Washington, D.C. Until next time.